Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Jeremy Scott Fitness Podcast Radio Show, coming to you on this Friday, November the 17th, 2023. Hopefully, it finds you staying safe and staying sweaty all at the same time. On today's episode, we are talking about building around the basics, building your nutrition around the basics, building your training around the basics, your career, your relationship, your business, and everything in between. I'll give specific details on each, and then obviously the underlying principles that allow you guys to just build an awesome foundation. So no matter what you do, you got the base ready in case something comes and tries to blow your house down. Three Little Pigs style, if you will. A couple housekeeping things. One, microdosing mobility program is kicking off Monday, November the 20th. This program is 32 days, 16 individual workouts. I'm asking for a 5-minute investment every single day. Obviously, you guys can do more, but all we need is 5 minutes each and every day. You'll move better. You'll feel better. We'll get rid of some of those nagging aches and pains. We will help you avoid some of those non-contact injuries. It is something that everybody should do. I know people will say, well, Jeremy, I do enough mobility. I promise you, you don't. And again, I'm not judging here, and this is not a place of like, even I can do more. I can be better in certain areas and certain things that hold me back. But saying, it's like saying strength is a weakness. Strength is never a weakness. Weakness is never a strength. And it's if you look at, well, Jeremy, I'm too mobile. It's not a thing. You're too rich. You're too good looking. You're too strong. You have too much great sex. Like these are not real things. Like this is something I think everybody can benefit from. I'm not trying to sell you guys on it. It's inside the app. You're going to get it basically for free. You get a week for free. You can try it for a couple of pennies and stay on. But I promise you, we're going to uncover some things that maybe you didn't know. We're super bound up and tight and maybe unlock some athletic potential. But at the end of the day, put you through bigger range of motion, helping you move better and feel better, not just today, but every day moving forward. So JeremyScottFitness.app. It starts on Monday. You guys get access to everything inside of the app on top of that. But this is a program I would tell everybody to do. You, your brother, your sister, your mom, your dad, your grandma, your grandpa, everybody you know, I think can benefit from this. And I could have made it way more detailed and way more in depth, like an hour every day. But I know that's not a realistic commitment for most people. And so I'm hoping you can invest 5 minutes a day into yourself to help move better and feel better for life. So if we can't get a bunch of people in at 5 minutes a day, Lord help us, because we're in the Titanic, man. And it's going down. So Jeremy Scott Fitness, that app, you guys get a week for free. Join the program, full access to everything else, thousands of workouts, all my programs, boom, done. And you guys already know we're talking about AG1 here. Drinkag1.com/Jeremy Scott gets you guys a year's supply of free vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with order 1. I take this every single day. It's the one thing that I never miss. It is like the foundational nutritional supplement that I take to cover the gaps in my eating. Not only does it replace like the multivitamin, but every scoop I'm getting prebiotics, probiotics, digestive enzymes to help support my gut health, magnesium, B vitamins, a little, energy boost, if you will. It has vitamin C, it has zinc. It basically covers the gaps in what you're doing. You still got to eat real food, but if you can't eat all your micronutrients, all your fruits and veggies, this is the one thing that I would take. That's why I take it. If you want a free sample 100% on me, hit me up. I'll send you a sample right to your front door. You can try it, see if you like it. If you do, you get hooked up with all the free stuff from there. And don't feel weird. Please feel free to reach out and ask me. Again, I drink AG1 every single day. It's easy to do. I think it's the best tasting. You can do it in the morning. You can do it at night. Just make it a habit. It's the easiest health hack that's out there, outside of probably just walking, in all reality. So hit me up if you want a free sample. Otherwise, if you really want to take control of your health and do something that's really easy to make you move better and feel better internally, drinkag1.com/Jeremy Scott gets you guys all of the free stuff today. All the other sponsors are in the show notes. Our friends at Dry Farms Wine. Sleeve sold separately where I get my gear. And then JLab Pro, JeremyScottFitness.jlabpro.com, where we get our protein, turmeric, collagen, and our krill oils. If you guys want a free supplement guide, we have that inside the app, as well as a smoothie guide and a bunch of other awesome resources to help you out. But Everything is in the show notes. And then again, for you guys who are wondering, our Built Different Mastermind group is kicking off here in January. D'Lo is probably going to make the calls here in the next week or two to all the applicants. We'll see who is going to get in, and we'll start the group off in January. The link's in the show notes for that, but if you're somebody who's looking to change careers, maybe get out of corporate fitness, maybe move up the corporate ladder, solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, small to medium-sized business owners, this is a great group for you. And that is why we're offering it to start off the new year, to help you guys get from point A to point B a lot faster than we did, and hopefully learn from our mistakes and surround you with a bunch of savages who really want to just be better in every area of their life, not just their business. So that is it, my friends. I still have a little bit of this kind of dry Metcon cough here. Feel like it's been going on for weeks, and just what a pain in the ass it is to not, feel optimal. And I'll share a story with you guys probably later in the year, early next year. But man, I've been on a journey. Being 40, it's been a journey so far for sure. And having this annoying ass dry cough is just not helping the situation. So we're talking about building around the basics here for all of you. A lot of this stuff you know, some of it you might not. I'm going to answer a couple of questions here too from Instagram and YouTube and from the app that people have been asking me. But I want to start off with a little note from Tyler English that he posted a long, long time ago. And I was scrolling through all the notes on my phone, and I thought it would be, excuse me, a nice time to share this with you. And it's just a recap. I've shared it many years ago. He wrote a note basically to the world and just wrote, "Dear men." So obviously he's talking to all the males in the building. "Dear men, if you're fat and out of shape, do something different this weekend. Put down the drink, stop eating like a teenager, drink more water, eat some protein with a damn vegetable, and go to the fucking gym. Repeat on Saturday and Sunday. Yours in health, Tyler." I just thought that's a nice, little kick in the ass and a nice little reminder to everybody. You can change your situation for sure. And I'm not against drinking alcohol. I have no judgment on anybody who does any recreational and social drugs. That's your life and your body. You do with it what you please. But if you're the person who's been saying, "I need to drink less," maybe this is the weekend to do it. And if you find yourself, doing really good during the week, and the weekends you go off the rails, or maybe you do, really well most of the week, and then you have a couple days where it just goes sideways, make this week be the change. And I'll throw a video on Instagram here probably in the next couple days, just talking about doing the hard things. And that's different for all of us. For some of you, it's physical activity. And albeit riding an assault bike, pushing a sled, doing split squats is hard for me, those aren't the hardest things for me. And a lot of you listening, it looks like that on the outside because you can film it, you're sweaty, you're breathing, and it looks hard. But some of you like to exercise. Some of you understand the value in it, and you get this endorphin high from it and this sense of accomplishment from it, even if you don't love every second from it. And I'm not saying that's not the hard thing for you, but the hard thing for you might be spending less time on social media, getting to sleep at a decent hour, not binge eating on the weekends or at night, not having drinks when you promised yourself you wouldn't have drinks. You know what I'm saying? Like, those end up being the hard things. And those are often the things we shy away from because, again, they are hard for us. And this isn't just a call out men, but a lot of times if you're eating like a teenager and drinking like a teenager and you're 43 years old and you don't like the way that you look and you move and you feel and you don't feel you're as productive as you want to be, and you find yourself in a negative, thought pattern and repetitive habit pattern, this might be the weekend to do it a little bit different. So be better, get to the gym, walk around, move your body through space, feed it things that make it feel good, and break the cycle if that's something that's holding you guys back. To piggyback off that, I got a question in the app here asking about training volume and is it okay to train certain body parts daily? I think the specific example was legs. Is it okay to train my legs every day? Or is it detrimental to train my legs every single day? Do I not have to wait 28 to 48 hours, to let my body recover and heal? It depends. There's a time and place for rest and recovery. Sometimes you might need 24 hours or 48 hours, depending on the volume, the load, and how you feel, and overall, recovery, and what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses. Here's an example I'll give. If you're going to go heavy back squatting on Monday, like let's throw out a number, 225 for 5 sets of 10, and then you're going to go barbell deadlifts, 315, let's say 5 by 5, and then do some, weighted walking lunges or split squats. You're probably going to have to wait 2 days or longer because that is a shit ton of volume. It's a lot of load, especially if you're training with any intensity. And then if you're focusing on time under tension and full range of motion, you're going to be crushed. So I do think you need to take rest in between there. Now, what I just described for most of you is something you should never do. I'm not saying I'll never barbell back squat again, but I don't see why I would. I don't see the reason or the purpose. Now, I'm not against it. If you love the movement and you get a lot of it, it's fine. I can get the same result without loading my spine up that way, especially at 40 years old. And the way I always describe it is you can run around your house with scissors, but what's the point? It's not, if you're going to get hurt, it's when. And that's me. Again, I'm 6'2". I'm 40 years old. I don't see the need to do that. I'm not trying to gain, 20 pounds of muscle. I want to move good and feel good. And I'd rather not look like a bag of shit too. But that obviously comes third on the depth chart. In terms of training volume, something like when you build up a capacity, and that's what it comes down to. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? How much workout capacity can you handle? How much are you sleeping? Are you sleeping 5 hours a night, 6 hours a night, 7 hours a night, 8 hours a night? Is it restorative sleep? Is it shitty sleep? How are you eating? Are you eating on point? Are you under eating? Are you overeating? Are you drinking alcohol? All these things go into play in terms of rest, recovery, and volume and the load at which your body can handle. Now, if you are somebody who has a certain level of training capacity and volume built up, let's say it's me, for example, I've been doing this for basically my entire life. I've been playing sports and doing fitness. If you're saying just fitness, probably from age 20 years old. I mean, if you wanted to say like even before college, but like let's say college is over and I'm not playing sports anymore, from age 21 or 22 till today. So 20 fucking years. I can do lunges every day. Doesn't matter. Whether it's 5 minutes of lunges, 10 minutes of lunges, or 15 minutes of lunges. I can do that every single day, 7 days a week. It's not going to bury me. I can do step-ups for 20 minutes every day. It's not going to bury me. I can push a sled, loaded, unloaded, push, pull for 30 minutes multiple times a week. I could probably do it every single day. My calves would probably take the most abuse, but if I'm really stripping them and stretching them, I think it'd be fine. The point is you have to know what you're doing and how much your body can handle and what your goals are. So yeah, can you do push-ups every day? 100% once you have the capacity built. Can you do pull-ups every day? 100% once you have the capacity built. Dips, walking lunges, bodyweight squats, all those things. I do believe that. Can you load super heavy every day? No, I wouldn't do that. So you have to really just listen to your body and how it feels. And so hopefully that answered the question. But I have had years where I've done push-ups every day. I've had years where I've done pull-ups every day. I had a year where I did split squats every single day. And again, I've talked about this before. It wasn't like I did the same reps and sets and volume every single day, but I would do the movement pattern every day. So I'm still working those muscles. So yes, I think you can do that, but you have to be methodical about it. You have to be smart about it, and you have to know where it fits into your training program. And understand it's okay to switch days. It's okay to move a rest day or move a training day or switch a push day for a pull day or a quad day for a glute day or an upper body day for a lower body day. That is totally all right. But you just have to know yourself. So hopefully that answers the question. Now, in terms of building around the basics, I'm going to play off a message here that Pat Rigsby had sent out and Justin Yule had sent out too, just talking about progress, building, And what's the best way to create something that's going to grow that you can essentially work off of forever? And the initial question was just asking, like, kind of where the fitness industry is going over the next several years. And if you want to extrapolate that out, where is the financial industry going in the next couple of years? Where is housing going? Um, where are our relationships with technology going? Nobody knows, right? And that's the question, because we wonder how much technology is going to play a role in what we do. And we know it's huge. And if you go back 20 years, I basically had just gotten a cell phone. And it was a phone. I never text anybody. I rarely called anybody. There was no games on there other than Snake. You're using T9 Word if you're going to send a message. The phone just sucked, right? You weren't using Google like you are now. There's no Chat GPT. And flash forward 20 years later, the whole game has changed. If you go back 10 years, the whole game has changed. And things are moving faster now than ever. And it's good to be informed about, hey, what's going on in nutrition, what's going on in fitness, what's going on in tech, what's going on in finance. And everybody wants to kind of, jump the trends and know, what's coming down the road. And they want to catch the wave, right? They want to invest in the next Amazon before it's Amazon, the next Apple before it's Apple. If you haven't not watched the Super Pumped show it's on Netflix now. Joseph Gordon-Levitt's on there. Kyle Chandler's on there. It's the Uber story about how Travis and them built Uber. You'd like to be in. It's a great show, by the way. It just kind of shows you the ins and outs of Silicon Valley and VC stuff and these tech startups and just the crazy world that is. On a side note, but you want to get on the initial wave, right? You want to be first to market, if you will. And so it's a valid question. Where are things going? And the better question is not what's going to change, because I don't think any of us know that yet. Like if you would have told me Instagram, which initially started as just pictures and then eventually went to 15-second videos, this is where it would be today, I would have said you're crazy. Same thing with the Facebook, which came out in college. If you told me this was going to be a business tool or even the podcast, I would have had a hard time believing you, especially to describe it at scale of what it is today. So instead of asking ourselves what is going to change in our lives and in everything we do, ask yourself what won't change. What are the fundamental concepts that have been tried and true for the past 10, 20, 30 years and are almost assured to be true for the next decade or 2 or 3? And I think those are the things you need to build your health around, your fitness around, your nutrition around, your relationships around, and your business around, as well as your career. And if you do build around the basic things that are not going to change, you have a much higher likelihood of being successful. And if you're listening, you're like, well, Jeremy, what are those things? I did a podcast a couple weeks back talking about the low-hanging fruit. That's what I mean. The basic things. From a fitness perspective, you build your progress around these things. What are those? It's real food. Things that run, swim, fly, grow from the ground. Things you can kill. Things you can harvest out of the earth. Organic is better if you can afford it. Drinking mostly water. Super simple. High quality tea and coffee is awesome too. Getting good sleep. Restorative sleep that makes you feel good, helps your body repair. Do the best you can with what you got in your situation. Being flexible, being mobile. Microdosing mobility starts Monday. Proper supplementation. Easy health hacks you can throw in. If you can't get out in the sun, take some vitamin D. Fish oils. AG1. Build and keep strength in your life. That's it. Basic stuff. Those things aren't going to change, no matter if it's, hey man, here's this new supplement. Hey man, there's always going to be new things that come out and that are great and we can use them. But you tell me you have to buy a Peloton? No offense to them. You don't have to buy a Peloton. Those things will change. those things will shift. A bike's a bike's a bike. Save your money buying a salt bike if you want to. I don't think the fan bikes will change. The same old ass Schwinn Airdyne is damn near the same ones we have here. Those are the basic things. It's just a conditioning tool. Get your heart rate up, get all 4 limbs moving, boom, you're done. That's what you build around. Proper training, real food, mobility, sleep, drinking mostly water, not abusing drugs and alcohol, not watching the news. Simple stuff. People will always want to look for the easy way out, and they'll look to shortcut the results, which I'm going to touch on later in this episode. But if you're talking in our space from a health and fitness perspective, what is not going to change? I know people will always want to lose weight. People will always want to be leaner. People will always want to have a little bit more muscle. People will always want to look and feel better and ultimately become the best version of themselves, whatever that means to them. That is what I know. So let me create programs, content in a business that revolves around that. What I also know is people will also want to escape being unhappy and become happier. That's the game. I think that's the only game we should play. We can talk about keeping up with the Joneses and who has what and who doesn't have this and who succeeded here and who achieved that. End of the day, man, all that stuff's secondary to being happy. And I know people will always want to be happier versus unhappier. What you also are going to understand is people will also need to be accountable. Now, when I'm saying these things, these go for fitness businesses. These go for probably any business that you're in, but also every relationship that you're in. And this is true. In your relationship, your partner is always going to want to be happier versus unhappier. And your partner is probably always going to ultimately be the best version of themselves. And they probably also need accountability. Like you need accountability. People will always need that. And I understand people will always do better with coaching, whether that's a finance coach, whether that's an insurance agent, which walks you through your stuff. I look at that as a coach, whether it's your real estate agent, whether that's somebody helping you with your pool, your internet, whatever. We lean on those people in areas of expertise where we're not experts. And if we want to be better, we outsource and get a coach. That's what you do. Building off the basics. I don't think that ever changes. People will always want their solutions delivered as conveniently as possible. Why is Amazon so successful? They deliver solutions as conveniently and as quickly as humanly possible. That's why we all use them so much. That is never going to change. So if you can do that in your career, for your boss, for your company, if you can do that in your business, if you can do that for your partner, you're going to be successful. People will always want to feel like they got a great return on their investment. This goes for your money. This goes for your nutrition. This goes for your fitness. This goes for your partner. It's no different. We all want a huge ROI. My wife met me in a bar when I had no money and no job and no talent and no real skills. I'm not saying I have a lot now, but compared to where I was at, she had a pretty big fucking ROI. We all want that in everything in our life. I also know people will always want to be part of a community that makes them feel connected and valued. Build your life off that. Build who you are as a person off of understanding that people want to be connected to other awesome people. People want to be surrounded by other motivated, driven, disciplined, successful, fun, charismatic, selfless people. That will never change no matter what. So if you're like, man, you know what? My life isn't where I want it to be. If you make yourself awesome, I promise you, you will find a community that you feel connected to and that you feel valued by, and they will reciprocate to you. Because if I know anything, people will always want to be made to feel important. We like that. It's why I do business with the people I do business with. Yes, I like them for their skill set, but I don't work with anybody who's an asshole. I really don't. All the people I go to, I like, and I try to keep those relationships with those individuals in their businesses and their organizations. Because today I had to do a lot of adult shit that I really didn't want to do. just not fun things. Stopping at the bank, stopping at the car dealership, stopping at the physician's office, like all these little things just to fix other people's problems, which I guess is pretty much being an adult. I feel like being an adult a lot of times is just going around fixing other people's fuck ups that ultimately are going to cost you a pain in the ass, and you have to fix it, because if you don't, you're the one who pays for it on the back end. That's just my soapbox for the day. And with that said, 9 out of 10 people that I associate with, I like them. They make me feel valued and important, and they make me feel more relationship based versus transactional. I think that's very important with the people you work with, especially if it's like healthcare, if it's your dentist, if it's your eye doctor, if you have a general practitioner, if you have a specialist. I think that matters. Their skill set matters for sure. Their knowledge matters for sure. But treating you like a human and actually like listening to you and giving a fuck about you and not treating you like just a number, even if you are, I think that goes a long way. And people can tell, dude. They really can. You've all talked to somebody and been around somebody that you're talking to them and it's like they're looking like right through you, or they're just, you can almost see them with their mouth like a ventriloquist, like waiting for their turn to just talk and just word vomit all over you and not listening to a fucking thing you say. That is somebody who doesn't make you feel important, and you don't feel valued that way. And if you find yourself doing that, just stop, slow down. You got 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Listen way more than you talk. And it's okay to take a pause like that before you speak and think about what you're going to say back, and really listen and download the information, because it makes people feel valued and it makes them feel important, and they should, because people are. If you build your business and your life around those fundamental truths, you'll be in great shape in everything you do. So the question, right? Where does technology fit into all this? Well, for me, all these things are going to be true whether we have the best technology in the world or if you take me back to 1985. Because if you think about it, the tried and true stuff is always there. And the core use of technology, I think, is to help you execute and do things faster, to reduce friction with the things that won't change. And if you want to do more, scale, be held accountable, do things faster, quicker, technology can help do that for sure. But even with all the stuff, I don't wear an Apple Watch. I have nothing against them. I have a cheap Amazon watch, and not because I don't have the money, because I don't want the thing to ring or call or text me. I got enough of that bullshit. It's just a step counter. I just do it so I know what time it is, so my phone doesn't have to be glued to my body 24/7, and just so I know my basic steps. No different than a basic-ass pedometer that existed 30 years ago. The stuff I do is not new. It's not fancy. It's not rooted in technology. Yeah, I like the wireless headphones when I'm working out. I think it's fun. But I'm pushing a sled. We got great stuff from Torque Fitness that they've sent us, and we like working with those guys. But a sled's a sled's a sled. It's a heavy object that you push. Now, we can take it outside and do fancy things with it now and enjoy the weather, but it's a sled, dude. Deadlift's a deadlift. Squat's a squat. Pull-up's a pull-up. Steak's a steak. Broccoli's broccoli. All the technology in the world, we can track it with MyFitnessPal. We can get on a Whoop app. We can use all the things, and I'm not against wearables, and I'm not against technology. They're all fucking awesome, but the basics will never change. It doesn't matter. You can do all the hacks. You can have all the morning routines. You can do the cold plunges. You can sun your butthole, you name it. End of the day, all that stuff's great. You can do it with just the basics. You can add the other things, but the base is always that. You know what I'm saying? When I say the base, I mean the number one thing you do each day is not, oh, if I cold plunge or not. If you love it, great. I understand. We've had people on who love it. They've walked me through all the benefits. You can miss me with that shit all day. There's just certain things I just don't want to do. Everything isn't for everyone, and that's okay. I'd sit in the sauna for 3 hours versus doing a cold plunge for 5 minutes, but that's me. The point is that's part of what you do. That's not the base. Whether you do that or not, that's not what you build everything off of. It can be a rooting foundation for what you do, but it isn't the thing that elicits the biggest results for you. You still have to do the reps. You still have to eat real food. You still have to get quality sleep. You follow what I'm saying here? So again, the technology and the things we've learned can help, but the base is always just the basics. And again, if we're talking business, right? If you want to make people feel more important or more connected, a simple text message, ordering them a gift from Amazon makes those things much easier than it was, let's say, a decade ago. But it's the idea is the same. Does that make sense? We send handwritten notes out here. Whether you do that, whether you text somebody, technology, the new version versus the old version, the basics are always the same. Because there is always going to be more tech and more advantages to the people who execute those than the people, obviously, who won't. But at the end of the day, I think sometimes we get distracted by the shiny stuff and the new stuff, and it can lead us off the path. And I say tech because do you know how many messages a week I get? Hey, Jeremy, did you listen to this podcast? Did you watch this video? You guys, I can't possibly listen to and watch everything. I'd love to. I had dinner with some buddies the other night, and they sent me a video. It's like a non-sleep video I think Huberman had put out. It took me 3 days to get to it because I had so much of my own shit. And the video was great. It's basically a version of box breathing, kind of the Russell Teams 5 in, 15 out stuff with a mix of kind of like the Navy SEALs, checklist of sleeping. And the point being is, it's nothing crazy. The basic stuff is this: control your breathing, calm yourself down, get quality sleep. Now we can get distracted. Well, I have to do this and this. We don't have to do everything all the time. It's a journey, you guys, to find out what works for you. And what I do know what works for everyone is the basics. In every area of your life, it's always the basics. And no matter the journey, right? No matter you understand all these things are going to take time, effort, and energy to show real results. And that's kind of the point of the message today. You're going to build everything in your life from the basics. Your relationship with your husband or wife is going to be built on respect, trust, loyalty, love, really basic things. Your business is going to be built on, obviously staying profitable, doing what's best for the company, doing what's best for the customers, doing what's best for your employees, the basic things. Those are the same in 1903 as they are in 2023. But no, on all of those journeys, whether it's our fitness journey, our mobility journey, our strength journey, our financial journey, our marriage, our career, our entrepreneurship aspirations, understand these things take time. And I know, like anybody else, especially when you're on a journey that's not fun, it can feel really fucking slow at times. And it's weird because I think how 10 years feels now versus 10 years ago, I feel like everything is just moving so much faster. Like when you say 2013, it's like, shit, that was 10 years ago. And then if I think 10 years ahead, I know it's just going to feel accelerated, which is scary at the same time. And so it feels fast in the macro, but if you're on a journey for recovery, you tore your ACL, you ruptured your Achilles, maybe you're getting out of credit card debt, you lost your job, you're dealing with a divorce, you name it, getting through that season of life, that journey can feel really, really slow. And that, again, in every area, your career, your business, when you're in the storm, it can feel like it's going to last forever. And I promise you it won't. And what we do, though, a lot of times in those moments, or on any part of our journey, whether it's your weight loss journey, you're trying to build muscle, you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to change careers, you're trying to buy your first house or your next home, or you want to drive this car or be this level, at your company, you name it, we compare. And you've heard me talk about this before. We compare, but we compare to people who are crushing. We compare to the greats. We compare to the people we think are doing the best, but only once they're already great. Only once they're already the best. And that's what I want to touch on here. When you're comparing to somebody, if their physical body, if it's their career, if it's their neighborhood, if it's whatever the fuck in their life, you're comparing to them today. when they've already reached a certain level of success, when they've already become good, when they've already become great, when they've already become the best at what they do. What you didn't do is you didn't compare them to you in the struggling years. It's different chapters. Your chapter 2 and their chapter 15 can't be the same because their chapter 15 and their chapter 2 aren't the same. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's why you can't take your chapter 4 and compare to my chapter 12. It doesn't make any sense. If you want to use me for an example, if some of you guys, think what I do is super cool, which I'm a normal dude. I just get to work for myself and do and say whatever the fuck I want, which is a blessing. And, I pay a price for it, but I love to do it. If you think I'm doing well, or you think I'm fit, or I'm healthy, or I got my shit together, and you're comparing yourself to me today in 2023, don't do that. Compare yourself to me in 2009. Compare yourself to me in 2010, when I had no job, no money, and really no clue what the fuck I was doing. Lost, no skills, not a lot of confidence. You can also compare to that. You see what I'm saying? We like to always do it in a vacuum. Well, Jeremy, you're doing this, or I see Rich doing this, or, Bob is doing that. They are today. But I promise you, they had a chapter 1, and they had a 2009, and they had a 2010, and they struggled. And it was part of their journey and part of their process. But we don't get to see that. And we don't talk about that stuff enough. And that's the years where they were building the base and they were fumbling and fucking up things. But I get it. We all want success and everything fast. And when you're working and you're working and you're working, it can feel like an eternity, especially when you're putting in the effort. And it's completely natural to wish for quicker, faster results. But let's consider this. If you're someone who is on a fat loss journey, or someone who's looking to get out of credit card debt, and you only lose 6 pounds in a month, or dare I say 2 pounds in a month, it might feel discouraging. Or if you're somebody who loses, well, let's put it this way. If you're someone who's, let's say you got $100,000 of credit card debt or $100,000 of student loans, and you can only pay off $1,000 this month or $2,000 this month towards your loan. Imagine achieving those results consistently over a 1-year period of time. I say this a lot in every talk that I do. People drastically underestimate what they can get done in a year, and they overestimate what can happen in 3 months. And I get it. When you're working hard and you're busting your ass and you're not seeing changes after 40 days, 50 days, 60 days, 70 days, it sucks. I've been there, man. And every day feels like a fucking marathon. But I promise you, if you could lose 3 pounds a month, 4 pounds a month, 5 pounds a month, these crazy numbers, if you could pay off $500, $1,000, $2,000 of credit card debt, or lose the weight over a year, that's a potential loss of 36 to 75 pounds, or paying off $15,000 to $30,000 to $40,000 of debt, if you can make it happen. The key is seeing the bigger picture and the cumulative effect of your efforts. But you have to have a strong base in order to do that. Imagine you're planting a garden, right? And you plant the seeds. And then you dig up the seeds every few days to see what's growing. It'll never take root, man. You can't do that. If you plant seeds in anything, in your marriage, in your career, in your fitness, you're putting in the work, you're putting in the reps, you're doing the right things. But if you check the scoreboard every few days, it doesn't matter. You're still in the second quarter. You're trying to win the game. Who gives a shit if you're down in quarter 2 or if you're down in quarter 3? If you win the fucking game, that's the game, everybody. But if you plant it and then dig it up every couple of days, it never takes root. So it'll never grow. You'll never get there. You're always, what do they say? What's the saying? I heard a dude say it the other day. It's like pissing your pants to stay warm in the cold. Like you're out in the cold, you're in Minnesota, it's in February, you're freezing, so you piss yourself to make your pants warm. It's a good short-term solution, but long-term, this is not a great way to be successful. It's like robbing Peter to pay Paul, if you will. Can't do that. But if you plant it, if you're consistent, if you water it, if you give it time and care, you're going to be rewarded one day with this badass, blooming, beautiful garden, for an analogy. In your health journey, in your career, in your marriage, in any legit relationship, it's much like a garden. Each workout, each healthy meal, each positive affirmation, each project you completed, each dollar you paid off towards debt is a drop of nutrient dense water on those seeds you planted to grow. I share that analogy because I think it's one that can visually stick in your head. And it's why it saddens me when I see people feeling disheartened and quitting and giving up so soon on their body, on their marriages, on their relationships, on their journey to being a millionaire or being debt free or building a business that they want. In this kind of quest for a perfect, quote unquote, solution, which again, you guys, nothing's ever going to be perfect. Nothing in life. Not your marriage, not your body, probably anything. I don't know if there's ever, I've never had a quote unquote a perfect day. You know what I'm saying? Like I hit every green light. Nothing on my body hurt. I won the fucking lottery. Heather didn't complain about anything I did. Everybody was nice to me. I hit PRs in every workout. I had a perfect meal, took a perfect dump, had perfect sex. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not a fucking thing. But on this quest for most people to be perfect or find the perfect solution to all their problems, it leads to this temptation to jump from one program or one tactic to another, praying and wishing and hoping for quicker results. You know, some programs in fitness might promise these rapid outcomes, but they often come in extreme measures that really aren't sustainable. That's the same for, get rich quick schemes. Great things take time. They really do. It's like if you're married or you're in a relationship, it's going to be, obviously it's different at year number 1 than it is on year number 10. And the habituation, the excitement of hooking up and something might be different in year 10 versus year 1 because you've had sex with this person now 8,000 times. But the strength of that relationship on year 10 versus year 1 is not even comparable. It's the journey you went through. And I think for a lot of people, not being able to see the future is tough for them because all they can do is focus on the initial excitement of, well, this program didn't work, so I'll do this program. Well, this diet didn't work, and I'll do this diet. And this, job opportunity didn't work, so I'll go to this one. And this business didn't work. And if you didn't give it time, how do you know? Because when you do that, when you continually just change gears and shift lanes and don't get, and again, I'm not saying stick in a relationship that sucks. I'm not saying stay at a career that you fucking hate. I'm not saying hold on to a business that is drowning, but how much time have you actually given it? What is realistic? Again, we underestimate what can be done in a year and we overestimate what we can do in a couple of months. And that initial excitement of you changing and switching and doing something new can turn into exhaustion. You can get basically changing program fatigue, if you will, leading to plateaus, and in a lot of cases, just reverting back to your old habits. And if only the journey with a quote unquote slower program was continued, you'd probably get the results you want. And I use fitness to finance for the fact of, everybody wants to be rich super quick. They want to go from entry level to CEO overnight, but you can't. You're not prepared. And it's the same thing with your physical body. You can't go from, being 50 pounds overweight and out of shape to being an Ironman in 30 days. But understand, with the slower journey, with one that's built on the basics, that's tried and true, you're probably going to get results. Are they going to come as quick? They're not going to come as quick, but they'll be sustainable for the long haul. And that, my friends, is the key. The worst, let's say I was trying to be shredded, and I only had 2 weeks to do it. There's an easy way to get there. Ramp up the activity, eat less food, drink water, and that's it. And basically starving yourself at the cost of losing muscle tissue, maybe even losing connective tissue, who knows, and just withering yourself down at the cost of long-term results and gains. Now, you can be leaner in the 2 weeks, but if I just said, hey, my goal is really just to live leaner and eat healthy and be healthy, it might take me 3 months or 6 months. But that's long-term results. It's like, hey, man, I got to get out of this debt. Let me sell everything in my house. That's the one way to do it. But now you don't have a couch. Now you don't have appliances. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of times we just really search for this get rich quick, get fit quick bullshit. But keep in mind, you guys, the lasting sustainable results, the most impactful, badass transformations in your life often take much longer than you want. The value of the journey is not in just the end goal, but in the person you become along the way. And that's kind of the beauty of it. So the next time you're doing something and you feel disheartened by the pace and the progress that you're making and things aren't happening fast enough, or you feel like you can't catch a break, remember the garden analogy. Remember the garden. Plant the seeds, water it, and give it time. Don't go back every 3 days and dig it up. It's like if you're a person who invests in, whether it's a stock market or cryptocurrencies, you name it. Again, and I've been transparent on here about what we do. We invest in traditional investments in the market, the Dow, S&P 500. We have different mutual funds outside of retirement. We're into the crypto space and Bitcoin and Ethereum and those things. I don't check that shit every day. I'm not going on, the Dow every day. I'll ask our finance guys here who come in, but it doesn't matter. It's ups and downs. I'm playing the long game. It's the same thing with, I'm not looking at Bitcoin. Bitcoin went up $5,000. Awesome. Like, I'm not going to sell it. I'm not moving it. So what does it matter? It's the same thing here. If I get in the scale and I lose 5 pounds or I gain 5 pounds, like, yeah, it's nice to have a metric and know where you're at, but is it water weight? Did I take a shit today? These are little things. You're playing the long game. And I don't need everything to show massive progress every single day to stay motivated. And I don't go out in my house. The same thing. My wife has made her backyard beautiful. She's planted all of these plants, lemon trees, orange trees, you name it. I don't go out every day and check if it's growing. Plant the seeds, water it, and let it grow. Remember the garden, my friends, and trust the process. Stay the course and know that with time, you're going to see results from the dedication, time, effort, energy you put in. And you're worthy of that journey. And just know the best is yet to come. But if you don't do it built on a solid foundation, I don't think it's sustainable. And again, I know we reference finance here, we reference fitness, we referenced career and relationships, and I really do feel they're all the same. And again, I'm just a gorilla in a warehouse. What do I know? But everything to me comes back to just sports and fitness. Many of you are like me. You're not naturally great at anything, and you sucked at everything when you tried it. The first time I shot a gun, the first time I went fishing, the first time I played baseball, the first time I played basketball, you name it, fucking terrible. And I wasn't trying to be Michael Jordan in a day, I wasn't trying to be, Bob Lee Swagger in a day. I didn't need to be Bassmaster. I just was like, hey, man, I'm not good at this. This is new. It's something I'm trying. It's frustrating. It's like you're riding a bike. You're going to have training wheels on. Take the training wheels off. You'll stumble. You'll fall. But eventually, you'll get the hang of it. You didn't just... It's like... I'm going to use riding a bike here real quick before I let you go. Almost all of you listening know how to ride a bike. You know how to swim. It's not like you got on a bike and you rode with your training wheels and your parents took them off and you fell 2 times and you're like, fuck it, I quit. I'm never going to ride a bike again. No. You got back on the bike and you just kept at it over and over and over again. Did it happen in a day? No. Did it happen in a week? No. But eventually you learned how to ride a bike. And probably like me, you start riding with no hands. You start jumping curbs, doing all kinds of wild shit as a kid with no fucking helmet because you grew up in the 80s. Boom. That's what you did. Now, you did that when you were 7. And now you're telling me as an adult you can't stick to a proper eating program for 12 weeks because you didn't get all the results you wanted? You couldn't stick to doing 10 minutes of mobility or 5 minutes of mobility, like our microdosing mobility program, every day for 32 days because all of a sudden you couldn't do the perfect side splits in the 30 days. You're not going to be able to. It's a process, you guys. Build a foundation on the basics, stick to the basics, and off of that, if that's your river, you can build the tributaries of anything else you want. You can start doing all kinds of wild shit from there, but the base has to be secure. That's the key. And everything is going to take time. I didn't make any real money in this business for a long period of time. I didn't, but I knew, hey, if I show up every day and I give my best and I try to actually help people and I become educated, it's going to work out. Whatever that means. If that means I'm going to make $100,000 in a year or $500,000 in a year or $1 million in a year, it's going to fucking happen for me. I'm going to just keep showing up and working. That's it. It's the same thing with my physical body. I didn't always look this way. I didn't always move this way. And I'm a 40-year-old man and I've never been able to do the splits. I'm going to be able to do the splits. My goal is by the end of the fucking year, or I'm going to die trying. And I've done mobility every single day for an hour since February 15th of this year. That's February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. 10 fucking months. Wild. Wild shit. Can I do the splits yet? No, I cannot. Am I light years ahead of where I was February 15th? Yes. I can't even believe I was a human then compared to what I am now. And my body must have felt like fucking wood when they massaged me, or concrete or something. I am so much more mobile, so much more flexible. But am I perfect? No. Do I have imbalances? Yes. Am I okay with that? Yeah. It's part of the journey. And do I like that I feel super flexible and mobile and then I go to sleep and it's like Heather beat the shit out of me or something happened and I wake up and feeling tight and stiff and sore? No, I don't like that, but it's part of the journey. And now I'm learning how to work through those imbalances and fix the things that I need to fix. And I'm learning things along the way. I appreciate it. And like anything, you guys, if you're coming back from an injury, if you find yourself building back up your life, from a divorce, or you're changing careers, or you name it, it is not fun in the beginning at times. It is not fun when you take steps backwards. That's why I'm a huge fan of just journaling or taking mental notes and understanding like what it was versus what it is today. And again, I have ups and downs just like you guys, but I know as an adult, I've built things on a solid base and a solid foundation, and those things will never change no matter what comes my way, no matter what technology does, what the economy does, what the government tends to do. I have everything built in this solid foundation, and I would urge the same thing for you guys. And it's the tried and true stuff you know. So hopefully that helped some of you guys. If you're on a journey right now, just know, give it time, treat it like a garden, and look back and see what everything you have is built on. Is it built on flash and bullshit and snake oil, or is it built on substance? Is the foundation of your life built on concrete or built on sand? And you can fix it and you can change it. And that's the beauty of it. But just know, all great things take time. Everyone who's listening to this, whatever you're good at, and there's plenty of things that you are good at, and there's probably some shit that you're great at. If you're lucky, maybe one thing. It took you a long time to get there. If you're a great parent, it didn't happen on day one. I'm sure. And honestly, it probably didn't even happen on your first kid. I'm sure you're way better on kid 2 than you are on kid 1, or maybe you don't give a fuck on kid 2 and you did on kid 1. The point is that your day 1 to your day 1,000 is much different. In everything in your life, your day 1,000 versus your day 1 is different in every journey. Build a solid foundation around the basics, plant the seeds, water it, give it time, it'll grow, and you'll be a badass. And just enjoy the journey, the ups, the downs, and everything in between. Because the shit days, man, and I've had some shit fucking days, you guys. Those days really, really make you appreciate and have perspective for the best days. And when I'm having some awesome days, I really do cherish them and I appreciate them at a level I never did before. And I know I'm going to have some rough days too. But knowing I have a base, physically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally, rooted in the concrete things that are tried and true, I'll get through it. I'll make progress, and I'll just keep this train moving. Hopefully that does the same for you guys. Have an amazing Friday, everybody. Microdosing mobility program. Don't bullshit yourself. Get in it. Build a base of mobility with us 5 minutes a day, every day for 32 days. We'll test, we'll retest, we'll have you moving better and feeling better. I promise you that. This can benefit everyone. The link's in the show notes. It's in the Jeremy Scott Fitness app. If you're already in there, you guys can get it for free. If not, join for a week for free. Get on for a couple of pennies. If you want a free sample of AG1, hit me up. If you want to be on our newsletter, message me as well. We send out 3 emails a week every week. I've done that for 13 years. Next week, I think there's 5 emails going out because of the program. Got a bunch of fun stuff coming to you guys down the pipe in early 2024 and a bunch of fun guests coming on the pod here. Dr. Jesse Greer's coming on. We're probably going to get the big, sexy Ben Novak coming on. And we'll get Heather back on here and probably Dave DiLorenzo and a couple other of my homies as well. If I can make it work, I'm going to get BJ Gaddour back on too. I might actually just drive out to go see that knucklehead there in the desert. We can get him back on the podcast for you guys to rock and roll. So that, my friends, is what is going on here. I appreciate you as always. If you're on Apple Podcasts, drop it a 5-star, leave a comment. If you're on Spotify, drop us a 5-star there as well. If there's anything you want to see and hear on the podcast, please just ask. If you're watching on YouTube, we appreciate you guys. Jeremy Scott Fitness on YouTube. You guys can subscribe 100% for free. And I actually have to work out now. Usually I do the workouts before this, but my day was busy doing adult bullshit. And here I am. So now I got to get it in. Do some mobility, do some split squats, some lunges, push a sled, get a sweat in, get a ruck, call it a day. Hopefully you guys are active. Get out, get some steps in, be active. It's a gift that you can. Text the people you love, call them, tell them, let them know. Life is too short not to do that. Until next time, my friends, eat well, train hard, be nice to people, and please keep doing shit you love with people you enjoy because your life is too short not to. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.